Mayor Pro Tem Moreno Mares.
Here.
Councilmember Garcia.
Hello. Here.
All right. I'll move this item C, excuse council member absences. We did hear from Councilmember Ortiz. She's
Sick.
very sick. So, I think Mayor Pro Tem was supposedly on her way. Is that correct? Okay. We need to sign them off. This agenda item allows the city council to excuse the absences of council members not present at the meeting. If all council members are present, the agenda item will be skipped. Do we have any public comments on item C? No. Nothing. This is for the Y. Entertain a motion to excuse.
Motion to excuse? I second that.
And vote, correct?
Both.
All right, the motion and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Invocation by Pastor Gene Plaskett.
Father and Creator God, we come before you. Blessed day of life, for the very birth of you. I'm thankful that I'm able to lead this prayer for the city council this night. I pray that you'll grant unto this council the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to carry out the affairs of this life throughout our community. And I pray that all things will be performed decently and in order in my sight. And I do pray for our police and fire departments, dear Lord, that they'll keep our streets safe. We're thankful for their services that they perform around us. And dear Lord, coming next month, there's going to be a large celebration of 250 years of the freedom of our nation. And we just pray that your spirit of peace will be in the hearts of all, whether young or old, we celebrate this blessed day. And dear Lord, I just thank you for the wind. And we know, as your word says, we cannot tell from whence the winds comes or whether it finds a resting place. Yet, Lord, I pray that thy Holy Spirit will blow upon us, strengthen us, and may souls be saved according to your divine will. Thank you, Jesus, for dying on Calvary's cross to set us free from the bondage of sin that we were in. And I do pray this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Will you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review?
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
All right. We'll move to public comments from the audience regarding items not on the agenda. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the council on any items not on closed session, consent calendar, public hearings, and city council business. Under state regulation, no action can be taken on non-agenda items, including issues raised under this agenda item. Members of the public should be aware of this when addressing the council regarding items not specifically referenced on this agenda. Do we have any general public comments tonight?
Yes, my name is Olivia Martinez. I'm the Region 2 Director for SEIU Local 521. We're here tonight because this will be the second year in where the city proposes 0 raises for its workers. How does the council expect these workers to continue to meet the demands and with no raise. To have the city management come and give us a proposal with zero is an insult to these workers. To not even suggest, well, maybe a bonus or something was an insult to these workers. These workers work long hours. I had a worker call me today that they were up until 1 a.m. in the morning, keeping this city running. This city is beautiful. I'm from Santa Cruz, and I fell in love with Greenfield. It's such a beautiful city, but it is because of the backs of these workers that keep this city running. And to have a leadership to not think proactively or figure out a way to get raises for its workers is insulting. I want to know what the city is thinking. Is this going to be a second, a third year? How many years is it going to be until workers get a living wage increase? They work overtime. They work on spills. They maintain your parks. Your city is clean and beautiful. And it is because of them. Today, we demand a fair contract. And we ask that you think about the areas of the budget that you can come back and ask management to reconsider not a zero raise, but something different. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. This is Perez here, Parks and Recreation Director for the city. I wanted to take the opportunity to invite the community who's present here in the chambers and watching us online today to join us for our 2026 4th of July celebration at Patriot Park. We'll be having our Independence Day celebration from 5 to 10 p.m. There is a time change from last year. There's going to be live music, performances, dance, food vendors, the fireworks show, and of course, the honoring of our veterans at the beginning of the festivities. We hope to see all the community there present and supporting like every year. And I do want to give a special thank you to all the departments that help us in the rec, as well as Alegría Musical, who helps us produce the event. So thank you to Public Works, thank you to our fire department and police departments, especially. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Council members, staff, my name is Megan Range. I am the new PG&E government. This is, guys, I'm short. Oh, that's why. I am the new PG&E government relations rep for your area. Just wanted to stop by, introduce myself. I'll follow up with everybody via email, so you'll have my contact information, but I wanted you to put a face to a name. Know I'm in your area. I know there was a few months gap between me and Jasmine if you worked with her in the past. So just came to introduce myself.
Great. Well, thank you for coming.
I'm Bob Arquidez. I have a problem here at this corner. I think it needs stoplights because I've seen too many close call accidents, including myself. I walk across the street and the car didn't even stop. And I've seen another accident, not an accident, but almost when a woman was walking across the street with her dog, and the guy turned right off of over here, and he didn't even stop to make the right-hand turn. He just went around. He almost hit the dog and the lady. And I've seen too many people going without even stopping at the stop sign. We need seriously to get maybe some stop lights or something there, because someday it's going to cause an accident where somebody's going to get killed or seriously injured, because this is a dangerous street right here. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We have anyone else who'd like to make public comments? I don't see any hands raised online, right? All right, I will close public comments. Move to comments from city council.
The only one I have is summer school starts tomorrow, elementary at Arroyo Seco, and then middle school would be Vista Verde. Thank you.
Great.
So we'll have kids back on the streets.
Yes, a little bit.
And that is true. With summer school starting, here we go again, electric scooters and more kids out and out later too. So, and I know with our sun setting so late, we do have a very active Greenfield at night. So thank you, police officers, for being out there. We'll keep you busy. I just wanted to say congratulations to our Little League champions, as was posted on Facebook. The 2026 District 9 Junior League Tournament of Champion winners. Greenfield Little League announced they were the tournament champions on it's posted on June 7th. So, and I love baseball. I just love baseball, and it's wonderful to see that. And I think the Junior Giants are now in session. Is that right, Jesus? Junior Giants? We got Junior Giants. Woohoo! All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, very good. I have a few things. Greenfield's recently formed Heart of the Valley Chamber of Commerce is having a brunch mixer at La Plaza Bakery this Saturday from 11 to 1. Please attend. Everyone is invited. Chambers are known for helping local businesses to increase sales and profits and thereby helping city finances. So please attend. I'll remind everyone about the 4th of July festivities. If you're interested in having a booth, contact Jesus. He can set you up. Salinas Valley Recycles is currently doing free tire recycling at their Johnson Canyon landfill until June 30th. So if you need to clear out your garage or your yard, get rid of those tires, it's free. So take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So, just an update for the community. The graduate banners for downtown were just delivered to the city yesterday, I understand, and should be going up on Friday. So let's see. City Manager Paul Wood and I met with representatives from the Catholic Church on June the 4th regarding the creation of a new cemetery in Greenfield. The plan is for it to be located on the church property directly behind the current cemetery, but under the direction of the Catholic Church. So we should see some activity soon. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library is having another kickoff event on June 18th at 8:30 in Salinas at 1752 East Alisal, Salinas. The project is free and gets new age appropriate books to each and every child each month. It's open to any child from birth to age 5. There will be some future sign-up events locally, but if you're interested in getting a head start on it, you can sign up online. I have flyers at my office, or contact me and I can get you some additional information on that. And finally, I attended our second Pride flag raising last night along with Councilwoman Garcia and Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez. Thank you to all who attended and all who helped to organize. All right. We'll now move to consent. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one action of the City Council unless a request for removal for discussion or explanation is received prior to the time Council votes on the motion to adopt. Do we have any public comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to Council. Any questions or anything on that? If not, I need a motion to approve consent.
Motion to approve consent.
All right, I need a second.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We'll now move to mayor's presentations, proclamations, communications, and resolutions. We have a proclamation to read tonight. proclamation of the mayor and city council proclaiming June 2026 as Pride Month. Whereas the city council of the city of Greenfield is committed to fostering and welcoming inclusive and equitable community where all residents are treated with dignity, respect, and fairness, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. And whereas Pride Month is celebrated each June to honor the history, achievements, and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and other LGBTQ+ individuals who've enriched our communities, workplaces, schools, and civic life. And whereas Pride Month commemorates the courage and resilience of LGBTQ+ individuals who have advocated for equality, justice, and human rights, helping to advance a more inclusive society for all. And whereas the city of Greenfield recognizes the diversity of its residents and values the unique experiences, perspectives, and contributions of LGBTQ+ community members, families, allies, and organizations. And whereas despite significant progress, LGBTQ and individuals continue to face challenges and discrimination, underscoring the importance of promoting understanding, acceptance, and equal opportunity for all people. And whereas the city of Greenfield encourages residents to celebrate diversity, support inclusion, and reaffirm the community's commitment to ensuring that every person feels safe, valued, and respected. Now, therefore, I, Robert White, Mayor of the City of Greenfield, hereby proclaim the month of June 2026 as Pride Month in the City of Greenfield and encourages all residents to recognize and celebrate the contributions, achievements, and enduring spirit of the LGBTQ+ community. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Greenfield reaffirms its commitment to uplift our mission to improving the quality of life for the City of Greenfield by strengthening our neighborhoods, delivering superior services, embracing the diversity of our citizens, and making Greenfield a desirable, safe city in which to live, work, raise a family, shop, study, play, and grow old.
May I make a suggestion on that one? Mayor White?
Sure, go ahead.
May I suggest that we present this resolution to one of our persons that has been instrumental in honoring and representing Pride
Sure.
Month? Fabian, would you come up and accept the resolution? Sorry to put you on the spot. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Just in time, just in time.
All right, we'll move to item J2, the update on the Tyler Lift Station. Not sure that's on.
Is that better?
That is.
There we go. Again, Mayor, council members. I'm here to present the current status of the Tyler Lift Station. Do I need to turn this on to push enter? There. We go. Let's see if I can get this right here. Better. So am I doing this? Sorry. So phase one of the Tyler Lift Station is currently offline due to pump failure and capacity limitations. In March, early March this year, the lift station failed. It began failing in January and failed several times before we finally decided that we needed to pull the pumps and just find out what was going on because we were starting to blow electrical components and it was getting very expensive to replace everything once a week. So we pulled the pumps and we put in a bypass. A temporary trash pump is in place to bypass the lift station. And in April, we buried the bypass pipeline that went across El Camino Real in order to open back up the road. This system is only temporary solution. We are in need in April, we found out that the pumps are not salvageable. They can't be rebuilt. And so it's going to take 4 to 6 months to procure new pumps. Phase two, procurement and replacement equipment.
So we need to order 2 new pumps, including VFDs. One of the problems is that the lift station itself is at capacity. And there's so much going through, there's cavitation happening, and we've been told that if we put VFDs in, it would help control the speed of the pumps and allow them to run longer. One of the pumps we had in there was only 1.5 years old. If we're going to get through to building a new lift station, excuse me, a new lift station, we need to rebuild this one almost from the ground up in order to get through the next 2 or 3 years that it's going to take to build a new one. Again, lead times for the pumps and VFDs, 4 to 6 months. Preparation of the site for installation while maintaining the bypass system. And the sales teams that I've contacted have not been overly responsive, so it has taken some time to get pricing. That's why pumps aren't ordered yet. So, phase 3, short-term lift station restoration, 4 to 7 months. That includes mobilize contractors for pump replacement, maintain the bypass pumping during the work window, installing the new pumps, check valves. It also includes volutes, impellers, motor adapters, all from the ground up in order to make it run. Some of the portions of the old pumps, not just the pumps were bad, the motor adapters had worn and they were causing wobble in the pumps. So, and then testing, commissioning, and returning the lift station to service. We will keep the bypass in place as a backup until the station performance stabilizes. And then phase 4 would be to operate the repaired station while the new station is designed and built. That could take 7 to 36 months. We'd maintain upgraded pumps and controlled to ensure reliability, continue with cleaning, inspections, vibration testing. We would keep the emergency bypass connections accessible in case there was another problem. We wouldn't have to reinstall that. And then at the end of it, transition flows to the new station once the construction is complete. Right now, the bypass pump is costing us $9,000 per month. Burying the pipe to open the street cost $52,800. Cost to repair the new lift station or the old lift station has actually incurred current pricing, which puts it at about $140,000. And then the cost of the new lift station is anywhere from, there are 2 options in the BDR. One is 1.3, the other is 2.4. The largest cost is really the inconvenience to our residents. The residents who live in the area of Vasquez and St. Christopher are very nice and cordial, but I don't know how long they're going to be that way. They can't walk out their door Monday morning and step into this. We've been very diligent in watching the pump and making sure we still have spills, but we've probably had just as many oops, we didn't spill. We were able to catch it in time, but it's wearing on everyone. Thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions or comments? I just have a few comments. I'm happy that we've gotten the street reopened. That's is a major thing. But I'm a little frustrated with the whole situation there. We've had this problem just a few years ago. I promoted at that point getting some backup pumps, getting some backup materials so that we could repair it without having to spend $10,000 a month for a pump and $52,000 for the bypass and all the rest of it. It's just I just find it a very frustrating situation because it smells down there and it's not real safe for that going across the sidewalk there.
It's frustrating.
It restricts, when the pipe is crossed there, it was restricting traffic into town, which is affecting businesses downtown. So if there's any way we could try and have some backup systems here so that we don't run into this problem in the future. it's a frustrating situation for me because I was promoted that before, so.
One of the problems is we did have 3 pumps, so we had a backup pump. And when that was installed, it blew electrical equipment. We replaced that, and within a week, it blew it again. Everybody I've talked to about this has said cavitation is happening. What's happening is the lift station is at maximum capacity, and it's causing problems with the pumps.
Okay.
That's why they're suggesting the VFDs.
That's a variable frequency drive, correct?
Correct, which it's an old station, and the reason the price is what it is now is because it requires a new PLC, programmable logic controller, to run those.
Right.
Couple of things, when we installed the pipe across El Camino, we already were able to look at the basis of design report for the new lift station. And that is going to upsize the force main to 8 inches. And so we put an 8-inch pipe across El Camino in hopes that in the future we could actually tie into that.
You
It
can
won't
actually
cut,
use it.
yeah, it won't cut that much cost, but anything we're doing, we're trying to make that cost not just an interim thing, make it go the long distance.
Right.
When I talked to them about VFDs and a new PLC, I asked, can that PLC be taken to the new lift station and reused and just modified so that we're not wasting that portion of of what we're putting in temporarily in order to make it permanent? And they said we can. So in each investigation, I try to see what we can make go a little further instead of just fixing it and then starting over again.
Right.
So I understand your frustration. We're just as frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, at $10,000 a month plus the $52,000 for the bypass plus the repairs, we're in here for $250,000 on this.
Yeah, for a temporary thing.
For a temporary fix.
I understand.
And so, I mean, if the permanent one is 1.3 to 2.4, you're a quarter of the way there almost. So it's like, it just, I find the whole situation kind of just really frustrating. So anything we can do to get this thing moving and get it. Is there any other places that we can call to get parts? And I mean, or is there just one provider? I mean, that seems unusual.
Smith & Lovelace is a proprietary brand, and that's what our lift stations are. I actually called several other companies and asked, can we retrofit it with a pump we can get within a month?
Right.
Can you look all over the United States and Canada and see if there are already existing pumps that we can get now?
Backup, yeah.
And they are telling me no. I haven't given up, but I'm looking for every answer. The companies that I've asked for retrofitting haven't been real helpful. We don't have a lot of plans. A lot of these stations were put in a long time ago. We don't have actual plans for them, which Smith & Lovelace should have, but they're not very helpful. And they go through distributors and other companies. And so it's depending on the salespeople.
Sure.
But I have looked into those avenues, trying to figure out, okay, what can we do faster, better, and make it work? And I won't stop trying to do that, but at this time, I have pricing to replace the existing pumps.
Okay,
And
well, thank you very much. I appreciate the update. Again, I just wanted to let the public know that, this is not something we're taking lightly. We're trying to fix it, but
Yep, absolutely.
we're running into lots of roadblocks here.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I'm not happy with Smith & Lovelace is because they don't keep pumps on the shelf. They make them when you order them, and that's why it takes 3 to 6 months to get them.
I mean, luckily, we're able to reroute this thing and do something different, or otherwise we would have,
But it's not
problems.
it's not ideal because even the pump company is trying to get us to put in a second pump in case this one fails, and we can't afford that. So we check it daily. We 2 and 3 times a day. I practically live watching our SCADA system. Oh, it's going up. Let's go. And like I said, we've been able to avoid some of the spills, but it's not easy.
Right.
And I feel poorly for the residents. I've walked the neighborhood and given them my card and said, don't even call 911, call me directly, even if it's 2 a.m, because I can dispatch people faster
Right.
and limit the spill. And we have been able to do that. but it doesn't make it fixed.
Right.
I also understand that previously there was talk about a new lift station and it didn't happen, so I don't know what happened there. And the new lift station, personally, I would rather not go with Smith and Lovelace. I'd rather go with something that's got local pumps that we can get. I can drive up there at 10 in the morning and be back by 10 and throw a new
Parts,
pump
yeah.
in.
Something where you can get replacement parts.
That would be most desirable.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your expertise because I would not know what to do. I'm calling you at 2 in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move to public hearings. K1, adopt a resolution of the City of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Landscaping and Lighting District Number 1, fiscal year 2026-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Landscaping and Lighting Maintenance District Number 1 for fiscal year 26-27. I'll open it up for a staff report. I think we're going to do one staff report on the lighting and landscaping, and then one for the, what is it, road?
The streets and storm drains.
Drainage. Street drainage.
Yes, so each one of the staff reports, they're basically, the four for the landscape and lighting district are very similar. They're just different district numbers. And so there will be 4 motions. So this, well, for the landscape and lighting, there's 4. Oh, that's right. There's 2 resolutions in each staff report. 8. I have to forget about that.
You can do one motion to approve 2 resolutions.
Right.
Yeah, that would be okay.
So the City of Greenfield has 4 landscape and lighting maintenance assessments districts, which are regulated by the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972 of the California Streets and Highways Code. The special districts were created in accordance with, here we go with Roman numerals, Article, I don't know what that is in Roman numerals, I'm sorry, XIIID, of the California Constitution and California Government Code Section 53753. The purpose of these districts is to levy and collect annual assessments on the county tax rolls, to provide ongoing funding for the costs and expenses required to service and maintain the landscaping and lighting improvements associated with the resulting from development of properties within each district. The costs and expenses associated with each special district assessment are for the benefit of the properties upon which the assessment is levied. Funds can only be used for maintenance and improvement of public landscaping and lighting within each special district. So in accordance with the Landscape and Lighting Act, the city clerk is required to provide public notice of the assessment at least 10 days prior to the date of hearing, which was done. And prior to levying a new assessment pursuant to Chapter 2, the City Council must conduct a public hearing to review the engineer's report, which specifies the assessment. The engineer's report is attached, and the engineer's report is prepared each fiscal year for the assessments that are to be levied and collected and pay the costs of the improvements described in the report. After approval of the report, either as filed or modified, the City Council must adopt a resolution of adopting the assessment, which shall declare the intention of the city to levy and collect assessments within the assessment district for the fiscal year stated herein. Generally describe the existing and proposed improvements and any substantial changes proposed to be made to existing improvements. Refer to the assessment district by its distinctive designation and indicate the general location of the district. Refer to the report of the engineer on file with the clerk for a full detailed description of the improvements, the boundaries of the assessment district, and any zones therein, and the proposed assessments upon accessible lots and parcels of land within the district. Must give notice of the time as fixed by section 22625 and place for the hearing by the City Council on the levy of the proposed assessment, and state whether the assessment is proposed to increase from the previous year. So I will at that point identify that there is an increase in the assessment of 2.5%, which is for CPI. and that's in each assessment district. In accordance with the act, any interested person may, prior to the conclusion of the hearing, file a written protest with the clerk, or having previously filed a protest, may file a written withdrawal of a protest. A written protest shall state to identify the property owner by him or her. If notice is given pursuant to subdivision A, section 22626, the city council shall hold a public hearing pursuant to section 53753 of the government. All interested persons shall be afforded the opportunity to hear and be heard. City council shall consider all oral statements and all written protests made or filed by any interested person. The city council may continue the hearing from time to time, provided that no continuance shall be made to a date subsequent to August 10th without prior consent of the county auditor. So during the course or upon the conclusion of the hearing, city council may order changes in any of the matters provided in the report, including changes in the improvements, any zones within the assessment districts, and the proposed diagram of a proposed assessment. If there is any major protest against the levy of an annual assessment after formation of the assessment district, that is increased from any previous year, the proposed increase in the assessment shall be abandoned. So the assessments shall be collected at the same time and in the same manner as county taxes are collected. And all laws providing for the collection and enforcement of county taxes shall apply to the collection and enforcement of assessments, except the assessments levied pursuant to section 22660, for which bonds or notes are to be issued and may be paid within 30 days after the date the county auditor has entered the assessments on the county assessment roll, upon which the engineer shall make a file with the treasurer a complete list of all unpaid assessments in manner required by section 8620. I know that's a lot. So we do have for the landscape and lighting districts, the projects for 26-27, and these are actually throughout all 4 of the districts. We do have contract services for maintenance of green spaces. We do have a contractor that does that, and there are various percentages for each district. That corresponds to 14% of the cost of the contract to 15% of overall green space maintained. The budget may also be used for city staff and equipment costs in the event it is determined more cost effective for the city to assume these responsibilities. Special purchases, projects, and studies. It's a consultant service to develop a scope of work for contract maintenance, which is anticipated to be performed in the next fiscal year. It also includes a reserve set aside. The reserves for each of the maintenance assessment districts is calculated and treated very differently than other budget reserve funds for the city. These reserves will accumulate with the intent of replacing the capital improvements so far as is practical, in addition to maintenance. The city engineer maintains a plan which explains the maintenance assumptions and possible reasonable replacement costs. As far as budget and financial impact, lighting and landscape assessment districts provides, well, number 1, provides services to areas of Lexington Square, number 1, Mariposa subdivision, Vineyard Green subdivision, Vista Verde subdivision, and Cambria Park subdivision. There's a total of 232 parcels in Lighting and Landscape District 1 that are being levied. So each of the districts has the same type of information with different subdivisions and a different amount of parcels. So each one of them, again, the levy is increased by 2.5% on the CPI. Apologize, it says CIP index. Middle fingers. And for district number 1, it's expected to be just under $121,000. And the cost for services is estimated at $127,000. So it's using a little bit of that reserve set aside, about $7,000. And there's quite a lot of reserves in this district. But the proposed budget also includes $6,045 for the district's proportionate share of internal administrative services based on the city's cost allocation model estimate of 5%. And so there is a budget. Each lighting and landscape district does have a budget table, and that is the amount of money that is going to be coming out of that district to pay for the landscape services that we hire out, but also if staff needs to go repair anything, because all of a sudden, let's say it's not in their contract and we need to go replace an irrigation controller or something like that. There's funds in here stated for that. And then also special projects where, we're going to get the landscape architect to go out, look at all the areas and see what is deficient in the plantings and the irrigation and come up with a plan to bring that all back. And then that would become another project, a construction project after that. And so we're looking at doing that as well. So we do recommend the proposed levy and to adopt. We have again, there's 3 more landscape lighting districts, very same background, just different subdivision names and different dollar figures associated with it. They are all collected in the same mannerism through the tax rolls. Okay. Do we have any questions so far?
Let me go ahead and open up the public hearing on this. Hearing is now open. Do we have anybody who would like to speak to any of the lighting and landscaping districts? Specifically this one, actually. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and bring it back to council.
So do we have to review all that you just did for every single one of these, or can we just go to the monetary impact?
So that was the one staff report for all 4 landscape and lighting districts. So now you'll just open and close the public hearing for each of them and then vote. And each of the votes will include 2 resolutions. So for this one, for example, you would make a motion to approve resolution 2026-48 and 2026-49. And then we would go through that same process for each.
And I would open the public hearing on the next item. Then.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion. 2 of them, actually.
Yeah.
So
you can do one motion just to approve both resolutions.
Right.
Sure.
So
Do you
it
want me to
was-
read them?
yeah,
Okay.
those
So this one is to approve resolutions 2026-48 and 2026-49. So
I need a second.
second.
Been moved in second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. We'll move to K2. Adopt a resolution of the City of Greenfield approving engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Landscape and Lighting District 2, fiscal year 2026-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenfield ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District number 2 for fiscal year 2026-27. I'll open the public hearing on item K2. Seeing no comments, I'll close it. I'll entertain a motion on K2.
So move to approve resolution 2026-50, 2026-51.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Move to K3. A resolution of the City of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Lighting and Landscaping District number 3 for fiscal years 26-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council and City of Greenfield ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District number 3 for fiscal years 26-27. Open the public hearing on that item. Any comments? I will close the public hearing and bring it back to council for a motion.
Move to approve resolution 2026-52, 2026-53.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, K4, a resolution, City of Greenfield approving engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of an assessment for the City of Greenfield Lighting and Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District Number 4, fiscal year 26-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council, the City of Greenfield ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District Number 4 for fiscal year 26-27. I will open the public hearing again. Any comments? I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to council.
Move to approve resolution 2026-54, 2026-55.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll move to K5. A resolution of the City of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage District 1 for fiscal year 26-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage Maintenance District Number 1 for fiscal year 26-27. Staff report, please.
Good evening again. So this is a little bit similar to the Landscape and Lighting District. Instead of landscape and lighting, this is actually assessments levied to districts for street and drainage maintenance. So to ensure a flow of funds for the operation, maintenance, and servicing of specified public street and stormwater drainage improvements within the boundaries of the streets and maintenance districts pursuant to requirements of the Benefit Assessment Act of 1982, the City Council on December 7th, 2004, approved formation of the first street and drainage maintenance district number 1. So that's back when all this assessments did start for streets and drainage. The purpose of the special districts is to levy and collect annual assessments on county tax rolls to provide ongoing funding for the costs and expenses required to service and maintain the public street and storm water drainage infrastructure associated with the resulting from the development of the properties within each district. Funds can only be used for maintenance and improvement to public streets and stormwater drainage infrastructure within each special district. The City Council may establish zones or areas of benefit within that special district. The benefit assessment is levied upon each parcel within the boundaries of each zone, and the assessment levied upon the parcel shall be based solely on the benefit received from the respective zone and not on the assessed value. So again, just kind of going over the basis of the streets and storm drain districts. City clerk is required to provide public notice of the assessment process at least 10 days before the date of hearing, which was done, and prior to levying a new or each annual assessment, the City Council must conduct the public hearing and review the engineer's report, which specifies the assessment. The engineer's report is attached and available for public viewing. The engineer's report is prepared for each fiscal year for which assessments are to be levied and collected to pay the costs of improvements described in this report. The report must contain the following information, which is a description of services proposed to be financed through the revenue derived from the assessment, a description of each lot or parcel of property to be subject to the benefit assessment. The assessor's parcel number shall be sufficient description of the parcel, and the area proposed to be subject to the benefit assessment may be less than the entire area of the local agency. The amount proposed assessment for each parcel in the case of an assessment to be collected in installments. The report shall set forth the number of annual installments and the fiscal years during which they are to be collected, and fix the maximum amount of each annual installment and the basis of schedule of installment, excuse me, of assessment. So the assessments shall be collected in the same manner as the county taxes are collected, and all laws providing for the collection and enforcement of county taxes shall apply to the collection and enforcement of the assessments. So projects for year 2026 to 27 that are for all 4 assessment districts are contract services for as needed pavement maintenance, striping of legends, And then estimate amount for this assessment district 1 is $7,000. It is very, there are different amounts from each district depending on the size of the district. And special purchases and projects, which is consultant services could contribute to the pavement maintenance design services and cost to update the special assessment district assessment roles. And also included as a contingency for to be determined project efforts. If unspent, those funds roll over and become reserve funds for the next fiscal year. And this amount for District 1 in particular is $7,500, and it's their proportionate share. So each district has a proportionate share that they do place. We also have the reserves for the streets and storm drain districts in the same mannerism as the landscape and lighting districts as well. So the CPI increase of 2.5% for the streets and storm drain districts is going to go into effect. So residents will see a slightly elevated assessment on their tax rolls. That will cover the costs of services during this next fiscal year. And then we have included another, again, a spreadsheet of the varying costs that can be charged to this street and storm drain district. Again, I'm reading off of number 1. Each district has different financial numbers in them. And do we have any questions?
That concludes your report.
That does conclude my
All right.
report.
We'll go ahead and open up for public hearing on K5. Anybody wish to comment? Questions? If not, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. Bring it back to council. I did have one quick question on that. We use that for like the ceiling and stuff that we do in particular neighborhoods. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And we do use this funding to combine that with other street projects so we can get a better price range. So we do use multiple revenue funds for that.
Council have any questions? All right, then I'll entertain a motion on resolution. Yeah, go ahead.
Move to adopt resolution 2026-56 and 2026-57.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. We'll go to case 6, adopt a resolution, the city of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding proposed levy and collection of assessments for the city of Greenfield Street and Drainage District number 2 for fiscal year 26-27. And adopt a resolution, City Council, City of Greenfield ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage Maintenance District 2 for the fiscal year 26-27. We've had the staff report. I will go ahead and open a public hearing.
Now, I don't know what maintenance district that Woodridge has over here. I don't know what maintenance district it is, but the streets need to be repaired soon because they keep filling them in, but they get right, they tear right
Wash
back
part
up.
out.
They need that whole district in there needs to be repaved. And I noticed some sinkhole, it's not like a sinkhole, but it could be in that on McDonald Way there, McDonald Bay, that sewer is, you got the sewer drainage right there. And around it, it looks like it's sinking.
Okay.
So I think that's very important that we get that. I've been there for 38 years and they have not done nothing for it. And I remember years ago that we made there was a bond for us and we had to pay for the streets and stuff like that and nothing ever got done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak in the public hearing? If not, I'll close the public hearing on that item and bring it back to council.
No questions.
Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve resolution 2026-58 and 2026-59.
I need a second.
I second that.
Been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Two more. K7, a resolution of the City of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage District Number 3 for fiscal year 26-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage Maintenance District Number 3 for fiscal year 26-27. I will open the public hearing on K7. Seeing no public comments, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to council for questions or a motion.
No comment.
Move to approve resolution 2026-60 and 2026-61.
I need a second.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. K8, to adopt a resolution of the City of Greenfield approving the engineer's report regarding the proposed levy and collection of assessments for the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage District Number 4 for fiscal year 26-27, and adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the City of Greenfield Street and Drainage Maintenance District 4 for fiscal year 26-27. I will open the public hearing on K8. I will close the public hearing. City Council, comments, review, action.
Move to approve resolution 2026-62 and 2026-63.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Thank you very much. We got through it. All right, we'll go to L1, adopt a resolution, City Council, City of Greenfield adopting the Transportation Agency of Monterey County Vision Zero Safety Action Plan for the City of Greenfield. Staff report, please.
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council. The Regional Vision Zero Safety Action Plan is a comprehensive, data-driven roadmap that unites agencies and communities to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries through targeted strategies and infrastructure improvements, utilizing the Safe Systems approach. In the US, the Vision Zero strategy led to the adoption of the Federal Highway Administration's Safe System approach. This is a holistic roadway safety guide that recognized that humans make mistakes, that our transportation network should be designed to prevent fatal mistakes from happening in the first place, and to minimize the injury severity when a crash occurs. TAMC developed the Monterey County Regional Vision Zero Safety Action Plan, which includes the City of Greenfield. This comprehensive plan reflects collaboration with partner agencies and other stakeholders to promote coordinated solutions to reduce fatalities and injuries due to traffic collisions in Monterey County. TAMC adopted the following goal statement for its safety action plan, which is TAMC and Monterey County jurisdictions believe that everyone deserves to travel safely. To achieve this vision, TAMC has set an ambitious and achievable goal to reduce fatalities and serious injuries by 30% by 2030, with the ultimate goal of eliminating fatal and serious injuries by 2040. The action plan requires TAMC to establish and track performance measures to monitor progress towards the adopted goal statement. Guided by this goal, the Regional Vision Zero Safety Action Plan evaluated Monterey County crash data and will produce annual monitoring reports covering all jurisdictions. Recognizing the reality of the city's limited resources and inability to complete all recommended projects, investments will be prioritized based on the following data-driven criteria to maximize the potential safety benefits outlined on page 18 of the City of Greenfield plan. Number 1 is the high injury network. 2 is systemic safety opportunities. Number 3 is proximity to schools and youth activity areas. Number 4 is vulnerable road users. Number 5, disadvantaged community consideration. And number 6, feasibility and readiness. This is for the financial impact for the city. The future Safe Streets for All grants used to fund capital improvement projects will require the city and TAMC to have adopted the safety action plan. Initial small projects will be funded by Measure X funds and programmed into future budgets. So we do have attachments, which is we attached the TAMC executive summary regarding the Regional Vision Zero Safety Action Plan, as well as the Greenfield portion of the Vision Zero Safety Action Plan in its final draft form. If council does choose to adopt this plan, we will turn to a final document. And with that, I would like to entertain any questions regarding the plan or how we got there.
Let me go to public comments first. I'll open up for public comments on L1. Seeing no public comments, I'll bring it back to council for questions or comments. Yeah, I know we have to have this passed in order to qualify for different various funds under Measure X, correct?
For the Safe Streets for All program,
Right.
Which continually is funded every year. We would have to adopt this. However, you are able to make comments on the plan, or if you want to see anything additional or any changes, this is the point where we're at, where we can do that.
And it is very Greenfield specific. It has
Yes.
different streets, different results from
Yes, and we were
criteria.
Captain Paredes and I were on the team. And we were very specific about, number one, funding. It's not, Greenfield's a disadvantaged community. And so we like to start off with some more basic things that we can try to do and then have longer term goals. And so TAMC and their consultant were able to work that into their program for the city of Greenfield for us to get closer to the Vision Zero for their goals.
Any other questions or comments, council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2026-64.
So moved.
I need a second.
I second that.
Then moved in second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
We will move to L2, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield supplementally appropriating funds in fiscal year 25-26 in the amount of $98,000 to fund year-end expenditures. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We are back for round two. I want to apologize, we didn't have more specific numbers for you. We realized that they're important. We did, as we all know, last year we cut our budgets across all departments quite a bit. So I outlined two specific account numbers that we use. One's fuel, one's police services. So we can show you exactly why there's a shortfall and why we also received extra bills from the county for services that were rendered to not just the Greenfield Police Department, but other police departments as well. So we can go to page 2 on the staff report. We look at the fuel budget. And from fiscal year 24-25 to 25-26, we actually lowered the budget. We cut the budget by $20,000. However, the actual amount we spent the prior fiscal year was $131,000. So we're already at a deficit of about $30,000. We're projected to spend about $33,000 in fuel. So that's pretty in line with the numbers from last year. The reason it's not more, especially with fuel prices right now, is because we do have 3 electric vehicles, and that kind of was able to stabilize the amount that we're spending. So right there, we're at a deficit of $32,000 just in fuel. And that's because we did cut the budget last year by $20,000. When actually it probably should have been about $30,000. We did our best to try and mitigate that, but we have to respond. We have to travel. We have to go to Salinas. We travel all over the county. So that's one that's very difficult to mitigate. The next column down, dispatch police services, that comes out of account police services. And I highlighted the budget amount of $460,000. And that also was cut from last year. But if we go down to the bottom totals that are in yellow, the police dispatch services ate up $411,000 of that. So that dramatically decreased what we have left for all the other services. And if we look at the prior year, just to the left of that, 369,000 is what we spent the prior fiscal year. This year, 411,000 in dispatch services. There's a lot more calls. So every time we have radio traffic, it keys into the formula, population size, amount of services. And so the county, they're going to recoup the amount that they spend on that, and they send us a bill for that. So that increased by $40,000, and that is outside of our control. Along with that, also the DOJ services, and that's fingerprinting, the CLETS, the California Law Enforcement Telecommunication Services. We're at we still have pending invoices coming in. I had highlighted those in red, about $18,000 short. Year to date, we're at about 51,000. So we'll be even with almost last year. But that is still a deficit right now with the current budget that was allocated. Now, if we go over to page 3, these are some of the outstanding bills that we still have coming in. Tolling services, printing. One of the ones, the DA drug analysis shortfall, that's a bill that we received from the DA's office. And it's a couple years behind, so that's hard to budget for that when they're late on their billing, right? So that's significant there. So what it comes down to is we're about $98,000 short for the entire fiscal year. Now, we do realize that this will come out of the city's reserve funds, or we also understand that some of the city departments may have a excess in their budget. The city council has the ability to move the monies around as needed to be able to pay for that, so it doesn't come out of the reserve funds. But that is up to the city council. And I will take any questions. I try to keep it as simple as possible and give you the numbers as specific as possible.
All right, thank you. Let's move to public comments on L2. Do we have any public comments on L2? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to City Council for comments, review, and action. Well, Chief, I'm totally supportive of the PD, and I'm gonna support this supplemental appropriation. It just, please try to keep things under control, because I understand that some things are unforeseeable. I mean, who knew we'd be paying, $6 a gallon for gas, and if the county is imposing, fees after the fact, increasing fees, we can't really regulate that, but anything you can do to keep costs down. I did have a question as far as where the money will come from. You said, how are we looking as far as year-end totals for the 25-26 budget?
So as we presented at the workshop last Thursday, we are looking at, the numbers that we had last Thursday was about an $800,000 surplus, but we're not exactly sure. That's a projection. We do think that we will have a surplus. There are departments that do have community development, for example. We had a community development director. He's no longer here. We're actually saving that money because we're not filling it. So there are pockets of money in certain places that every department can move money around budget-wise within their own department, but it's up to council with city manager's approval. Anytime we want to move money from other departments from one department to another, it needs council approval because it potentially impacts the work plan that we've all agreed on at budget time. So there are places that we probably should be able to get some of that money or all that money. So we could do something like that. We'll come back to council. I mean, you can approve it now and give you the details when we figure out what it is.
Okay.
That was going to be my question maybe for Jennifer in terms of if we approve this now, are we specifying that leaving it kind of open-ended so it doesn't have to necessarily come back to council depending on what department budget is coming from, or how do we go about approving that?
Does the resolution specify where it's coming from?
It does not.
No, it's not.
No, it doesn't.
It's just supplementally appropriating funds. So that's what I'm wondering, because then we will have to hear it again if we approve this as the resolution is written right now, correct?
Well, as it's written now, it's an actual supplemental appropriation, meaning it would be more spending. I think what we'd want to do is change it to be a budget transfer from a different department. That department could be determined, you know, at the, not the city manager's discretion, but
Wouldn't the only surplus this year goes into reserves? So this is coming from reserves, so it doesn't come
yeah, but if we wanted to budget it, like change the budget to where he can actually process purchase orders and requisitions, the money needs to move from someplace. It's not in reserves yet. It's in budgeted to something else. So we just want to move it from where it's budgeted now to where he needs it.
So would
I
it,
think just approving a budget transfer between departments to cover the 98,000.
I kind of think it would make a little more sense if we were approving it out of reserves, since we're saying then this money from these other departments will end up back in
And
reserves.
sure, we'll go there
Because
anyway,
then- Right,
and just leave it the way it is.
because then it isn't like, then there's transparency about, you know, money not just coming out of X departments or anything in it, and it's coming from
building.
the reserves, and then we know everything that was left over from each department that is gonna go into reserves at the end, as opposed to things just kind of being moved around without it coming back to council and all of
Stuff comes
that.
down to the bottom line, it'll be the same numbers.
Yeah, it'll be
correct?
the same numbers, it's just, I think there's more transparency if we're clear that it's just from reserves, and then we'll have a report at the end of the budget year, right, of what went back into reserves, and we're clear on where that money came from. I think it makes more sense that way, but I don't know if you all agree.
I'm fine with that. I mean, the bottom line, it comes out the same way at the end. The numbers are exactly the same,
Mhm.
so. I'm
But there
fine.
isn't-
So
then
basically,
there
we're
isn't,
approving
like-
it as written, is what you're proposing.
It is a supplemental appropriation, but it won't add to spending. What I do is I'll take the same amount out of another thing. That will flow down. I'll budget the same amount from a different department.
Right,
And-
yeah.
and
I think I
that-
understand that part. I think it's just to keep it the way that we typically do things when money is moved from one account to another, you know, that comes to us and we approve the movement of it going from one department to another. So that we don't do that, but there's still, I guess, like accountability for that movement from department to department. That's just kind of what I'm thinking.
That's basically what you're proposing here on this
Yeah,
resolution, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Do I need to?
I mean, we
add-
definitely, we want to pay our bills on
Yes.
time. We don't want to.
Yes, I think, I don't even think we're discussing that part of it.
Taken care of.
Um,
But, you know, please keep things under control as much as possible and try to foresee as much as you can, because I am not a big fan of supplemental appropriations, especially in budgeting time. So,
Absolutely.
so if you want to make a motion.
So as it's written, just to last clarification, then this would be coming then from reserve funds to the supplemental, okay. So I move to approve resolution 2026-65.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I don't want to get into it. Oh, I second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to take a roll call vote on it, or you get? All right. All right, we'll move to L3, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield approving appropriations for general fund, enterprise fund, special reserve funds, internal service funds, capital project fund, and debt service fund budgets for fiscal year 26-27. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have our budget approval request for 26-27. And on the heels of the budget workshop we had last Thursday, we've balanced the budget. So we've got a balanced budget, and we're going to go over really a couple of the same slides with some minor changes, because if you remember at the workshop, we had about a $668,000 deficit that has been balanced now. So we'll go over the revenues and expenditures, capital improvement projects, and personnel. If everybody got a copy of this is our FTEs. It's our personnel authorization, I suppose. I do have one small correction on here, and it's down towards the bottom. It's all in alphabetical order. The Public Works Maintenance Worker 2. It says the department is water production. That should be streets and parks. That's the only correction on there. All right. So then after that, I want to go through what staff is proposing for progress reporting, because this is a tight budget year, again, as we had last year. So here's our general fund overview. If you recall, we talked about this past year, we had a deficit of 917,000. We were projecting a surplus this year of 870,000, and we've balanced the budget revenues and expenses for this coming year, 26-27. Here's the revenues basically adding up to that. We made small adjustments. There is actually a small decrease in revenue here because from what we presented at the workshop, due to the internal service movements of money. The majority here is just the general haircut on the expenditures. So just about every department that's listed here reduced expenses to get down to the $21.3 million expenditures. Just looking at the numbers here on revenues, 21.5 million last year. We're projecting 22 million this year, and then 21.3 next year. Expenses went from 22.4 to 21.2 to about 21.3. So they're up just a little bit. Related to personnel, this is a separate listing of FTEs. There's no increase or decrease. I think we've got 2 vacancies this year, which is the same as we had last year. If you recall, the year before that, we had a whole host of vacancies, and we're now having fewer people leave, and those positions are getting filled more timely. So we don't have many vacancies, and these actually might not even be there by the time the new year rolls over. Capital projects, if you recall from the workshop, we had this list of projects that are funded by other sources other than the general fund. When we saw it on Thursday at the workshop, it was a little over 10 million. Well, now it's 33 million. That's because, as we had mentioned at the workshop, we did miss one item, which was the wastewater treatment plant design, which is significant, 23.6 million. So that number is up to $33.7 million. And this is a list of all of the project priorities that will be funded, at least in part, by the general fund. And the one that's highlighted, the city dog park, is the only one that we've got on this 26-27 budget to be paid next year. So we're moving forward with that, and you'll actually be seeing new items related to the dog park, hopefully at the next council meeting. In summary, we've got a balanced operational budget. Personnel related items, there are no additional personnel requested, funded by the general fund. Last year we had 2 vacancies. This year we've got 2 vacancies. The most important part is that currently no funding is available for labor negotiations for this year. If there are changes related to labor agreements that require funding, the council will have to approve supplemental appropriations. So those labor negotiations are ongoing with all 5 groups, and we'll be talking a little bit about that in the closed session. But if we do need it, we will need to do supplemental appropriations, and we'll have to find where we're going to get the money for that. CIP requests funded by other funds, 33.7 million, funded by the general fund, 44,000. And I wanted to continue kind of looking forward because, as I mentioned at the workshop, I think some of the issues that we're having now, if you recall the sales tax chart that I showed, that we're kind of stagnant on sales tax, and that's a big portion of our general fund revenue. But I think that the revenue side is a systemic issue and that we need to make some real changes related to what it is we're doing on an operational level. So first, since the budget's so tight, what we want to do is we want to monitor revenues and expenditure trends really closely. That's always a good thing to do, but just like this year, we need to do it again this coming year. Also, immediately following the adoption of the budget, which potentially is tonight, we want to put together our facts and figures for labor groups and other nonprofits to campaign for the reapproval by the voters of our 0.75% sales use tax in the November election. Remember, this is all assuming that it passes, because that's about $1.4 million in the general fund, that if it doesn't pass, we got some work to do. There are many positions that are funded with all of the sales tax, but this is 0.75%. So a little bit less than a third of that goes away. Okay, next meeting, June 23rd, we'll present an annual strategic plan. So what that is taking our strategic plan and all the things, wonderful things that we want to do with it, but really want to show you what do we plan on doing for the next 12 months, starting in July, which is going to include projects. It's going to include CIP program items, when we plan on doing what, and then we'll have progress reports moving forward to kind of keep us, hopefully to keep us on track so that we know what we're doing as we're going through them. Starting tomorrow, we're going to start implementing an operational improvement program that's going to focus on efforts to increase revenue and decrease expenditures. We kind of heard about a couple of them at the workshop related to perhaps changing scheduling in the police department. And we're going to take a look at other things we can do to decrease expenditures and increase revenues. And I will be heading up that effort and having at least quarterly reports related to how we're doing on these specific programs and projects, and hopefully letting us know how much we're going to be saving by implementing this improvement program. Part of this is because I think the issues that we're facing are systemic, and that impacts everyone. As you heard Ms. Rodriguez from SEIU talk about today, they would kind of like to have something happen on the labor side. I agree, I understand, it makes perfect sense. So this is part of the things that we're doing to hopefully make sure that we don't have to deal with this again. Also, as the scenarios change, staff will update City Council and the community regarding priorities and possible changes to the plan. It's a very fluid thing. Don't forget, a budget is a plan, and plans change from time to time. So we're very willing to do that, and we hope that this year we've got a lot of work to do in getting this all taken care of. Oh, so that's it. That's my presentation of the budget. Most of the information was included in your packet related to line-by-line detail, and we talked a lot about it at the workshop. So I am open to any questions moving forward.
Well, let's open it up for public comments. Public comments on L3, the adoption of the budget. Seeing no public comments, I'll bring it back to City Council for comments. I do have a couple clarifying things just so everybody knows. The dog park at 44,000, we are leveraging a grant there, correct? That's why we're promoting that.
Yes, 44,000 is just our match for, I can't even remember how much it is, but it's for the whole dog park.
Okay.
Yep.
But it was a significant amount for the whole, dog park.
Yep. Jesus?
Yeah, we would be receiving over $170,000.
Right, 170,000.
Okay. Just want to say, I mean, the revenues at this point are flat at best. So I want to say to staff that we really need to check and double check if an expense is really necessary before we spend the money. It's a very, very tight budget. and promote everyone that, that can get behind it, the 0.75% sales tax. If we don't get that passed, you're looking at $700,000 in reduced revenues at least. And that means the only way to balance that budget is with staff cuts and service reductions. So we don't really want to go there. So, let's do our best to get the word out to the public and get that sales tax passed, because we really need that revenue to continue. So
I appreciate that we were able to do the haircuts. I'm sure it wasn't easy. That was a lot of work, I'm sure, to get to that point where we're balanced, right?
Mhm.
And I like hearing that perhaps we need to do a checkup quarterly and not wait till even mid-year. Might be a little too late on some departments, because then you only have 6 months to try to catch up. I do think it's important that, you said we have 120 positions here.
Correct.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes it might be hard to supervise exactly what's happening at each site with everybody. And we develop trust that everyone is doing their job and doing it well and efficiently. But sometimes it helps to have extra eyes, that maybe we can do a job a little different, a little more efficient. Also, it's important to look at, just like any car or any vehicle, is everything working to its capacity? Is there anything that we need to make changes to? Perhaps there's some things we don't need anymore.
certain systems or whatever.
Yeah, we never know. So I appreciate this idea of not just supervising quarterly, but to also keep everybody in check. And we do it not to catch you doing something wrong, but to help you be more efficient. But thank you for balancing the budget.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion on L3.
I move to adopt resolution 2026-66.
Second.
Been moved in second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Budget passes.
Thank you very much, Council. And I want to offer up a very heartily earned thank you to Evelyn Mullen, all of our department heads, but specifically to Evelyn, who really put this thing together. And I know that Mariah is also watching, and she's getting involved in the budget process. So that's really good. So thank you, Mariah, and specifically Evelyn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, we'll move on. Brief reports on conferences, seminars, and meetings attended by mayor and city council. League of California Cities. Anything on that at all? Okay. Transportation Agency for Monterey County. That's me. We met May 27th in Salinas. We received an update on the Highway 68 Adaptive Signal Project. This is where AI is used to improve traffic flow. Early findings show that some improvements for the morning east to west and afternoon west to east traffic, but somewhat longer times for feeder streets such as San Bernardino Canyon and Laurellis Grade. So the data will be continue to be analyzed. This is being studied because there was a great deal of pushback concerning installing multiple roundabouts on Highway 68. So this was a way for TAMC to try to get some additional information to try and provide some alternatives to improve the traffic problem. And also some really good news on Greenfield's grant request from the Senior and Disabled Transportation Cycle 4 grant. This is a grant to provide vouchers for our Greenfield residents for transportation. Our request was one of 10 requests and was approved as the number 3 request in a very competitive grant process. We discussed the awards for well over an hour. So thanks to our staff for doing a great job locating this grant and preparing the application. This was done as we were concerned with that MST change for the local service to this from the point-to-point system to the circular that we had here several months ago, which made it very hard for some of our residents to get to stores and services. So the grant is in the amount of $50,244. So should have some grant money for some transportation. So that concludes that report. Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments. I think that's Rachel. Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority.
This past month, we recognized our Agriculture Woman of the Year, and she's our president.
Gonzalez, right?
From Gonzalez, yes. Just want to make sure I have.
Ms. Silva.
Ms. Silva, yes. President Silva, yes. And also at our meeting, we highlighted my favorite part of every meeting that we have is recognizing all the youth and the many accomplishments that they had with their projects throughout the whole valley. And also, I am very grateful that Councilmember Ortiz reached out and asked, what can we get as far as some support regarding is it the Day of Thanks? Is that what we call it, our Day of Thanks? And so I reached out and said, this is what we do, this is what we feed, who we feed, how many we feed, but we do have some areas of help, which basically comes down to waste and the trash and the different maybe materials that we're using. And immediately, the resource recovery manager, Mandy Brooks, stepped forward and said she would contact our council member Ortiz and come up with ways to help them get containers for our garbage, because we had so much and we didn't have containers to put them. So they're going to work with us as far as getting them for free or donations or at lower cost. And even the containers that we use to feed the people, as well as looking at those that are a little more environmental friendly. So we got some support immediately coming from Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority and the Salinas Valley Recycles. That's all.
Great. Monterey Salinas Transit.
I was not at the last meeting, but I do have the highlights. The 2026 program of projects was approved. The operating and capital budget was approved. A contract with the reloadable transit parking payment cards, and the nomination and appointing of new officers. So our new board chair is Tony Barrera from the city of Salinas, and the vice chair is now Luis Alejo for the county of Monterey. Our next meeting is on July 13th.
Great, thank you very much. South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority, they met. All right. Monterey County Mayors Association, our meeting was to be last Friday and it was canceled, so for lack of a quorum. So Salinas Valley Mayors Managers Group, we didn't have a meeting in May for some reason, so didn't meet there also. Looks like the next meeting on that one is the 22nd in Salinas. So. Then Planning Commission? Nope. Nope. All right, then we'll move to closed session. Did you want to
Sure.
give an announcement?
The city council will meet in closed session pursuant to government code section 54957.6. Conference with labor negotiators. The agency designated representative is city manager Paul Wood. The employee organizations are Service Employees International Union Local 521, Greenfield Police Officers Association, Greenfield Police Sergeants Association, International Association of Firefighters Local 4656.
Any public comments on the closed session? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session. No action, nothing to report out. Reconvene, city attorney report,
I have nothing to report.
city manager report.
Nothing to report.
Meeting's adjourned. You guys stayed for that.